Hello, karibuni sana. This is your cheerleader of dreams. Here we talk about how to start, scale, grow, and scale your successful business. My name is Dr. Regina Kemori, CEO CPA-K Africa, and I'm so excited that you've been loving our content and loving the channel and giving us feedback. So let's continue, reshare, so that we can continue talking about entrepreneurship, business, financial literacy, to make sure that that business that you're planning to start or you've started, you're able to grow it and you're even able to really scale it. And today I want to talk about something that I promised about debt management. And we have so many businesses that are collapsing because of debt and not being able to really manage their debt properly. Remember, the effective way of getting a debt for a business is to be able to, you have to really do your calculations very well and to do your projections in a very, very good way, so that when you bring that money in the business, whether it's money that you want to buy machinery or it's money that you're bringing for working capital, you have a plan that is workable. When you go to a bank to borrow, and by the way, banks give money to businesses that are making profits. So they don't give to startups because they want their money back. So they are looking at the risk. So your business has to make profits, and it has to have those audited accounts, management accounts, and even projections, because they want to see, if we give you 1 million, where are you taking this money? And if it is working capital or it is something that you're buying, what will be the improvement of the business? How are you going to repay that loan and still maintain the profits in the company? So that is very critical. And I always say that when you're doing a borrowing, first of all, you have to be very strategic. Remember, it doesn't mean just because you have finances that you have borrowed that your business will kickstart or you're going to make even more money because you have borrowed something. Sometimes it could be even issues within the organization. You're not able to manage your business very well. That's why you even have to go ahead and borrow. So you have to identify the core issue and be able to plan on that money. Let's talk about now debt management. You are in a crisis. So we are talking about somebody who is not borrowing, is in a crisis of debt, and they are wondering, how do I manage this debt? Because I'm almost closing the business or I'm having so many issues. First of all, know what you owe, a critical understanding where you're truthful that this is my bills, this is the money that I owe. And you can go from loans to the money that you owe, the other and then if you have money that you not pay the employees, if you have supplies that you not been able to pay, being open that give me the correct position of this business is very important, because when the correct position is there, you can be able to now plan on what to do next. And I always find that when a business is going down, sometimes you really don't agree to it. Or when the business is having managerial operational issues, we don't agree to it. The very first thing that we think is that we need to do more borrowing. We need to give our suppliers, if they have been giving us goods within 14 days, we pay. We tell them we're going to do within 30 days because we are experiencing some financial constraint. You don't get to see the real problem, so that you can be able to understand how to organize your business. So understand what you owe, organize and prioritize. Go ahead and see what is the priorities for payment of this debt. What do I need to pay for? So when it comes to loans, what do I need to clear first? You may find something that is less, it's a very small loan. They are always calling you, they are disturbing you. You can even clear within a very short time. So get a strategy of understanding and prioritizing the debts that you're having. If you're having suppliers who keep nagging you, who do you start to pay first prior to them? And of course, it's very good to be open to them. Don't refuse picking their calls. Some of us go to that level. Talk to them, tell them to be patient, you're working on it. Remember, your word is very, very important. And at the end of the day, you still want to do a business in future, you still want to continue with the business. So you need to also consider that portion, that you want to also have a very good relationship with all the lenders and all the people that are asking you for this money. Create a budget. And you can look at your business and even look at areas where you can do cost saving. Where can you cut on cost? Because there is an obligation here that you should be able to pay. Where do we cut on cost? And as we consider budgeting, do we need to even lay off other people? Do we need to really bring? Do we even need to sell something? You have assets, you have things within the organization that you can release, so that you can remember, debt stress can really be hard, and it can really push your business to a downhill. So is there something that we can be able to release? Don't withhold something so much. After all, when the business will be okay, you can purchase even something better. Why don't you even consider that route, so that you can be able to be at mind when as an entrepreneur or as in a company, when you have stability of mind and you are at a sound mind, you are able to make some very sound, good decisions. Sometimes you find an entrepreneur is very disturbed because of this debt. They don't even come to the organization. And when you get to that level that you're not being able to pay your supplier, loans are always coming there to auction you, your staff who have not been paid actually. And sometimes you wonder, some staff will stay with you for 6 months without pay, a year. What are they doing? Because they have to eat, they have to pay the rent and everything. What are they doing to survive? You find because you left, the structure started falling apart. So you even find that these employees, they are selling stuff within the organization to cater for their lives. So at the end of the day, you're even losing more. You're losing more. So it is very important to be available, to be sober, for you to be able to solve a crisis. Remember, there are so many people who even got to a place of being auctioned and they still reinvented themselves and came back. So that even knowing that we can even go to that extent of losing it all and gaining it back, it is very, very important, so that you can be at sound mind to make some of these decisions. And sometimes we make very bad decisions when it comes to business. You just own it up and say, I made a bad decision, but I'm here. And because I'm here, let's now see how we solve the issues at hand so that we survive and we grow the company. The other portion, negotiate with your creditors. I say that you need them. At the end of the day, you need these people. If you don't negotiate with them, the next point is that they are going to go to courts. And you start receiving those letters that you've not been able to pay them. Talk to them. Tell them that this is my issue. I'm going to pay you. I'm planning this and this and this. And this is the way that I'm going to settle these debts, and settle them also as you also promise. And if that day comes and you're unable to do that, renegotiate again. It is very, very important, because at the end of the day, this is a problem. It is a problem you're having and you need to solve it. Avoid models. You know, there are sometimes, that's another point. There are sometimes you have borrowed here. So when this disturbs you so much, you go borrow somewhere else so that you can pay this one. And at the end of the day, you're having so many borrowings to just cover. And when you're covering, of course, you keep rising, the borrowing keep rising. So it is avoid models. Get to a point where, because sometimes as an entrepreneur, remember when you're borrowing, you're giving your collateral, your security. And by the way, Any bank that is giving you this money or any institution, they always ask a collateral or a security that is so high. So if they are giving you 5 million, they asked you for a property worth 10 million. It's almost double what you are looking for. At the end of it all, they have to auction that property, you lose quite a lot. And remember, for them, because they want to recover 4 million that you've not paid, they don't even care if they sell it at 5 million or 6 million. Well, if that property was worth 10 million or more. So avoid more debt so that this crisis can come to a standstill and you can continue minimizing them. The other portion is increase your income. Is there a way that you can be able to sell more? Is there a way that we can buy something else to substitute what we are selling and be able to increase our sales? The moment you get more money, then you are able to cover for this debt. Slowly by slowly, you are able to really cover for this debt. Do you have any other work or any other thing? Some entrepreneurs will even consider going back to employment so that you can be able to cover those loans, and then when everything is settled, you can be able to relaunch again. It is still important. Track your progress. So 2025, we started at debt ceiling of this level, 5 million, when we were having all manner of calls. And remember, when you get into that level, you borrowed loans, you went to SACCOs, you went to Shylock, you went to Fuliza, as in you went to mobile loans, there's a traction. So track your progress. That I finished the loan with the Shylock, and finished with the Fuliza and the mobile. Now I'm at the SACCO and also the bank. Track that progress, because it is very, very important, and for you to be able to see, and also progress on your incomes, that you're also able to improve on your income. You can go ahead, if it is affecting your lifestyle and you're used to a big house, big things, you can go lower and reinvent yourself, so that you can be able to put your things together. The final point is get support if you need. Debt is something that can affect you mentally and even health-wise. Get support. Get support from financial consultant. Talk to the friends around you who will not judge you. Tell them that I'm going through issue, because they can also handhold you during this process. You can also seek mental health so that you're soberly when you're solving the issue. Remember, having a debt is not a sin, but you can have so many of them and they can collapse you. Not just collapsing the business. We have seen even people die out of those pressure and everything because of trying to manage until it's not doable. By the way, I have seen entrepreneurs with with a lot of debt. I've done projections for loans even to billions of money, and I've seen entrepreneurs borrow quite a lot, quite heavily. It also depends on your risk capacity. And by the time they are borrowing that much money, there's a lot of projections that you have done to make sure that this money is going to be repaired. But remember, this money you have to provide security and so many other things. So there's a lot of work that is put there. But they still borrow and they still make money. And if they fail, because there is always that portion that you have to consider. What if, because this is business, it is very volatile. You might be doing something, next time there's a competitor, there's something new. So you even in the midst, you had planned everything, but in the midst, something changed along the way. So when the things change, then you have to accept that now I'm kind of losing what I was expecting. So because there's this, how do we adopt? How do we adopt to the new reality that the business is suffering? We are not able to pay our debts on time. What do we do? It is very, very important. And if you're having a team, it is important to tell them that I'm having this and this challenge and I would want help or support. They might not even help you, and support to be able to handle the issues at hand. And remember, When you're having debt issues, we move away from the business. When we move away from the business starts taking a downhill. The staff that are around us, because you're not able to meet their obligation, because they have to eat and drink, they start misusing, they start selling, the internal controls drop. So you end up having a company that is going to a very high downhill very, very quickly. So you have to be sober, you have to be there, you have to make sure that your controls are okay, but communicate to everybody, even within the organization, that we are going through this and this challenge. That's why we cannot be able to afford this and this, and you can scale down. And when things are just okay, you can be able to go ahead and reinvent yourself. The other things, you can look for cheaper lenders. I've seen entrepreneurs do that, and right now there are so many other cheaper lenders, especially venture capitalists that are coming to our countries. You find that they are doing 7%, 8%. So this person will consolidate the loans that they have all together, because banks are giving at 18%, 19%. They consolidate and go to this venture capitalist. So then now they are able to be at stable. Of course, those venture capitalists sometimes give a lot of money, so their ceiling for debt is very high, and so many other regulations that you have to comply with. So there are so many options of getting out, and the main thing is that you're learning. You did not make a mistake. It was a learning lesson. So when you understand that failure and success in business, they are twins. So sometimes we make profits, sometimes we make losses, sometimes we make mistakes, but we are learning. When you accept those, you accept cost strain. There's sometimes cash flows, you're having cash flow cost rate. There's sometimes the business cycles, you're having profits, and being able to plan, being able to understand your business. If you've been running that business more than a year, 2 years, you can be able to know that this first quarter of the year is the year that we market, we don't have customers. Second quarter, we get customers and we have a lot of business. You have to understand the cycles of your business, so that even when you're borrowing, you borrow the right way. If you planning on the repayment, you plan them on the right way, and you're able to cover and grow your business. A business requires loans for it to grow at a certain level. There are people who say, I would not want to borrow, depending on them. But there are places where that business will require that extra capital for it to go to the next level. So don't be afraid. Just have the right financial consultant, structure that loan in the right way. When that money comes in the organization, management is very key, and the right processes when the expenditure and everything, and making sure that the organization model and structure is working very, very well. So asanteni sana, and God bless you.